off-road trail for XUV 300. Hey everybody, welcome back to your favorite channel, iPhone Bloke, the Auto Tech Tuber. And in this video trial, I want to talk about some of the most amazing things I've experienced during my overall drive of almost 12,000 kilometers with XUV 300 BS6 compliant, and this is of course petrol. Now moving on, I have couple of clips which I've got for you guys. One, when I'm trying to off-road the land from road to tarmac to a barren land like this, number one. Number two, I'm also going to talk about 4 to 5 important factors which I've jotted down for my experience of drive and overall review of this car. And of course I'll show the tachometer as well a little later about how many kilometers I've driven altogether. So the first big point which I want to talk about with context to XUV 300 is the fuel mileage. I think the fuel mileage of this car is absolutely incredible, and I can say because very often I test my car wherein I keep my car in economy mode and I keep just 18 to 19 kilometer distance from my place to petrol pump, and trust me, it has never ever given me any hiccup whatsoever because I've always tested the car to its limits and it has always remained, let's say, pretty much punctual when it comes to car and its dynamics. So of course, if I talk about the car's overall mileage and fuel efficiency, this is India's most affordable SUV petrol BS6 compliant. Leave Creta, leave Kia Sonet, leave all those mini babies. Go for XUV 300 if you really want to have a happy feeling in your pocket. That's number one. Number two, which is a negative point of XUV 300 over a span of 11,000 some change kilometers, and that bit is this particular part, the car, the mirror of this particular car. You know, initially if you have not taken a good care of let's say washing it or wiping it, it could give you a lot of foggy feeling, especially in the segment wherein we talk about, right? So I'm talking about the mirror of this particular vehicle. Now this is with every vehicle, it's not just basic variant or W6 or W8 and whatnot. So if you have not taken a very good care of your, let's say, mirror, it could give you a very bad impression, very bad feeling, especially driving at a particular speed, because there's a lot of fog which you can absolutely defog with the help of your AC. But all in all, the car has got a lot of issues with the mirror. So if you could do, let's say, anti-glare, that would be a fantastic feeling altogether. But then do not rub it with a very poor detergent or something like that, because if you do just for sake of cleaning it, you would end up spoiling the quality of your mirror. I've experienced one, so I thought of sharing with you. Number two. Number three, which is a very important thing I want to talk about, is people often say is the luggage of this particular car. Yes, it's 270, which is absolutely not good in terms of a comparison with even a hatchback. But how often do you go on a highway? Let's say if you go once in a while, you can have a couple of big suitcases, you can fix it. But then if you travel very frequently on a long journey and you have 4 or 5 people, yeah, it could be a bit of a damaging sign for you in terms of satisfaction. So that's point number three. Number four, I want to talk about the maintenance cost of this petrol vehicle. So when I have had my own service cost, it was around about 2,500 some change. And I think for a car of this size, wherein you have all 5-star security, all 4 discs from the basic variant, you know, I think it's really value for money SUV. Now let's get in the car. I'll drive and I'll tell you after 11,300 some change kilometers how the car feels altogether in acceleration and the road presence. Okay, so here is the overall mileage I was talking about. I normally keep my car in a very low mode just to test the fuel efficiency and stuff, and you can now see the car just showing 35 kilometers distance to petrol. And trust me, whatever gauge numbers you see on this MID, it is absolutely crystal clear. So hats off to Mahindra for giving us some fantastic mileage efficient car. Okay, now let's focus on the highway, and I will talk about acceleration and some other stuff after 11,360 kilometers which we have done so far with BS4 compliant petrol XUV 300. Okay, cameraman, over to you. Just focus on me and of course on the highway. Okay, so let's start first with the highway. I'll tell you the overall acceleration, and now I'm gonna go a little crazy with this. Let me do that. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. So the acceleration of XUV 300 is just fantastic. At no point in time you feel that XUV 300 has any complaint or let's say glitches about moving on, taking on. And overall, if you see overall experience, by sitting on a top deck the way I'm sitting right now, I think it's a one heck of a thriller ride which everybody loves in the segment of XUV 300. So let me just talk about some other credentials. Let's focus on the highway and then we can talk about some other things as well. Okay, now overall XUV 300 has this fantastic road presence, and of course the acceleration, and of course the noise what you normally talk about. It's more of a sporty based character. So if you see my overall let's say speed, I'm cruising on about 70-ish kilometer per hour. I'm just under 5th gear, and my oh my, the way it drives, the way it moves all together, it's absolutely phenomenal. So this was a little demo about how the car accelerates in early. Yes, there's a little bit of lag initially because this is again a turbo petrol charged engine, but then still you'll find a little bit of lag happening in the engine. But overall performance and activity, the way it drives, the way it moves, the way the steering weighs on the highway post 100 kilometer is quite impressive. If you could just focus on me. So the other important point I want to talk about with this car is this really a car, you know, in comparison with Creta, let's say Seltos and all those things? Now, the first thing first, for all of you, you cannot compare XUV 300 with Creta and Seltos, because Creta and Seltos happen to be a little tougher, a little bigger variant compared to this particular car. But then if you talk about safety, if you talk about overall driving dynamics, the plush feeling inside the cabin of so-called beige and black combination, I can tell you this is one heck of a vehicle which Maruti is again competing with Brezza with this particular car, and of course a lot of renowned name in the market. But then this car surely beats you with 5-star crash test rating. It has the best possible pickup. It can also move an elephant. I keep saying that in my videos, that a car of this wonderful size, I'm just accelerating it, just watch it out. There we go. So this is a phenomenal car when it comes to overall feel, rush. Let's fall on the highway, and trust me, this is nothing short of Indian Formula F1, you know, feeling, because I love it. I mean, I've driven all the car, all the compact SUVs, and I think it's phenomenal. So thanks so much for watching, and do subscribe iPhone Bloke, the Auto Tech Tuber. Thank you.